How's it going? I'm Joe Doyle. Thank you for watching the video about my Sole Trader Accelerator Program. I'm just going to share a few points with you, and hopefully you can even take a little bit of value from what I'm going to tell you today, and that will give you an idea as to what's in store on our Sole Trader Accelerator Program. The program is not exclusively for sole traders. It's all for small businesses of some sort, which is what the first majority of the people who will be watching my page would fit into that bracket, right? So I've lots of different headings here, and I'll just run through them there with you very quickly, right? So understanding and managing cash flow. Most business owners will understand profit and loss to a certain degree, but they won't understand cash flow. And a simple example is if you have 30 days credit with your suppliers, and you only get paid 60 days from your clients. If you do a job for 20 grand and you charge 30 grand, right? At the end of the 30 days, you're going to be down 20 grand in your bank, right? And unless you have that factored in, you are going to be in a lot of trouble. Whereas some people will more so be just concentrating on the profit and not realise that the cash flow is what actually kills the business. Another thing where people will be fairly weak on will be eliminating bad debts in the business. And unfortunately, in the services industry, a lot of it is done on the basis of you do the work and you might outlay some money and then you get paid later on. The problem with that is you are at the mercy of people being late with payments, and you're also at the mercy of dealing with people who are, you know, purposely serial bad debtors right across the board, and now they're just coming in with yourself. And it's not good. It can cripple a business. Next one there, managing your invoicing structure. I don't know, like, the people countless people have told me, oh, I just didn't get paid because I didn't get the invoice in. That's not acceptable, guys. You need to have a proper system in place for doing your invoicing promptly and properly. Otherwise, you're going to stand not to get paid, which is going to result in problems in the business later on. Another thing which we cover there is avoiding nightmare clients. And I bet you nobody else will talk to you about this, right? But on that computer system over there, I have a database there where we've done repairs in homes for over 2,500 people. Let me give you the exact number of people here, right? The exact number of people that we've done repairs in their home for, right? And most times when there's a problem, so what have we got there? 2,733 clients we've repaired their homes for, right? In my old business of insuranceworks.ie, right? When you deal with that volume of business, you notice trends in people. And most times we were actually able to predict who was going to be the nightmare client, and eventually we just stopped dealing with them. On this board over here, okay, on that board there from the 4th of September 2014, I have the name and the amount of everybody who caused hassle to me in my business, right, as a client. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So there's 16 names on that board, right? 16 names on board since September 2014, 14, 15, 15, 16, 16, 17, almost 3 years, right? 16 names, 2,744 people. Unless you manage the bad apples, they're going to get into your cart and ruin the other bad apples. So you need to have a system in place to deal with that and eliminate them from the very start. And it's actually not that difficult to do. Another thing what I have a lot of weight on, another topic I have a lot of trust in, is the whole concept of the 80-20 rule, right? It's just a crazy universal law that everything works in balance of 80-20. You will get 80% of your profit from doing 20% of your business. You will get 80% of the hassle from 20% of your clients. And this is being checked right across the board. 80% of the type of work you do will only result in 20% of your profits, whereas 20% of the work you do will result in 80% of your profits. People don't even be wide to this type of concept that's out there. So you need to drill down into your business, and you need to look at that, and you need to implement that into your business to make sure that you're working to your most efficiency. Like, I've changed a lot of things in my business over the last little while because where I was spending a lot of my time was not my most efficient, and I basically cut the 20% off and just go with the 80%. So basically, if the 80% is the good stuff, I'll run with that. Then you're constantly looking at that and you're trying to cut off another 20% to make your 80% all the time more and more efficient, to result in more profitability and better use of your time. And the next topic we cover there is managing expectations and managing staff expectations and eliminating dead weight in your company. And that's a very brave thing to say, and a lot of people will be saying, geez, you can't be talking about that. The reality of it is, in every single company, you have those who, if they weren't in business on a daily basis, the business would go under, right? And then you have those who are there, who are on the payroll, and they're just doing enough to get by. And there's a way of dealing with people like that. You need to incentivize them and motivate them so that they don't become dead weight in the business. Because if they do become dead weight in the business, it's your fault. It's not their fault. So you need to keep them inspired, keep them motivated. The next topic we cover there is how to get more money from each of your existing clients. If you go and do a bit of business with a client, do you think that's the only piece, that's the only money they're going to have, that's the only time they're going to need a service like you, that's the only time they're going to be able to come back to you for something that's going to be able to help them in their business or in their life, right? So you need to put a system in place where you're constantly going back to your clients, or you have your clients constantly coming back to you. So even if it's once-off business, but there is a referral system of some sort in place, and that basically means that you don't need to keep chasing new business the whole time. The next topic we cover there, how to use social media to get more work in the door. I'm astounded by the power of social media. Obviously, I'm talking to you guys now through social media. I have made contact with most people over the last while through social media, and it was something that I didn't give a lot of attention to before January of this year. And right now, I'm still getting massive amount of results from it, and I'm seeing where lots of people aren't doing what I'm doing, and they're missing out and they're losing the opportunity to get more business in the door. The next thing we look at then is the strategic planning for your business. So people need to understand what exactly is your business. Your business is purely a vehicle to fund your wealth building activities. So if you think the business is the be all and end all, you're just going to wander around. One day something is going to go wrong in the business. It's going to run out of cash, something's going to go wrong, and then it's going to go down. It's going to go down the tubes, and then you will have nothing to show for it there. So your vehicle needs to be purely a bridge from yourself to wealth building activities, and you need to treat it like that. If you don't treat it like that, one day something will go wrong, and you'll have to start all over again. And that's not a nice thing to have to do, where people need to be aware of this. Whereas I think people that are aware of it is one thing, but most people don't know that they don't know this type of concept exists. And this is not something you do down the line when your business is established. This is something you do from day one, and you work towards that every day from day one. So there's no reason why you should be running a business for 2, 3, 4 years and then looking at a wealth building activity. You need to go to work in the morning on a Monday morning, not to do a day's work. You need to go to fund your wealth building activities by doing work in your business. And put that in the right way, like the wealth will sustain you over the long term. If you do it in the correct way, it will get you through recessions and everything else. And everything you do today is going to pay dividends for the rest of your life. And that's a very important concept to have in your business. The last thing that we look at there, and we will add more and more on this, is identifying weaknesses within the business. And I can tell you right now, most of you who is watching this video right now, the weakness within your business more often than not is in how you think about your business. That's the problem. You need to get your thinking right so that your head is looking in the business in the correct format. After that, then you're into a situation where you are thinking long-term, thinking strategic all the time. You're not purely thinking day-to-day. You're thinking long-term, but you're on a day-to-day basis, you're acting towards the long-term goal. So they're just some of the topics that we cover. We will add more in as it goes along. That is the program. It's the Accelerator Program for small business and sole traders. Anybody who is a tradesman of some sort running an operation needs to be on this program, because I guarantee you, if you're watching this video now, there's probably the penny drop saying, I don't know anything about that. I don't know anything about that. I don't know anything about all these different topics. You need to know. You need to get clued in. You need to get educated. As I said when I showed you on our computer system there, we've over 2,700 clients that we've done work for, we've repaired their homes for. We've learned a lot in insurance works, and that's why I feel qualified to be able to talk to you guys about this stuff and to teach you where you can implement that in that business. And that's without getting into the talk of any kind of property investment and stuff like that, which is an area where I'm happy to say I'm good at, and that's where I take the most comfort in. Because you know that if you leave a business after 2, 3, 4, 5 years, it wasn't a waste of time. You've used that to fuel your wealth building activities, and you still have your wealth building activities going on in the background. So guys, I'll leave that with you. thank you very much for watching this video, and please feel free to ask me any questions there. I'm happy to get back to you.